Hello, my name is Sydney. I'm a pre-sale software specialist, and today I'll be showing you the advanced contract profiling capabilities in the contract subsection when you're creating or editing a contract in the Contract Management Anywhere software. The subsection I will be discussing comes from the Operations Contract tab. If you click into a specific contract, you would then have to scroll down past the Files section, and it's going to be under Preliminary tabs. First, I'll be discussing procurement. So the procurement tab will contain all of the clauses that you could add to your document. So for example, I have this exit clause selected. Type in your exit clause information here. And then you would set the exit period before the contract ends that you would want to set for an exit window. And then you would set the trigger period for notifying when the contract is set to end. And the notification messages that you can select from will be configured by the admin. So you would select from one of the pre-configured notification messages. And then you would set the notification address for who you want to send that notification to. Same thing with renewal clauses. You can set the number of renewals in the renewal term. You can set if you want it to auto renew, or you can decide to manually renew in that moment. And then you can also configure other clauses down here, like third-party clauses, retention clauses, and more. Just make sure to save any edits you made before moving on to information. We also have the ability to set up contract review dates. To set up a contract review date, you would have to set the start date, review frequency, set the reviewer email, select a notification message to send to that reviewer, select an escalation email for when you need to escalate it and that reviewer hasn't reviewed the contract in the set amount of time, and the set amount of time that you would set before escalating the contract to be reviewed would be set here. So let's say after 5 hours you want to escalate it, you would add that here. You can also add any ad hoc reviews that haven't been scheduled, and just make sure to save all of your information. Under the operational tab, you can bolt on any SLAs that need to be monitored for your contract, as well as milestones for contract monitoring. So first, you'd have to make sure that you have the actively managed value selected. As you can see, it's toggled on. And then you'll have the option to select an SLA to bolt onto your contract. So here they bolted on an external daily scan SLA. You could bolt on other SLAs as well. And you would set the RAG escalation name, the email that it gets escalated to, and the status. So it could be red, amber, or green, depending on the urgency. And the notification message, you would just select from the pre-configured messages that the admin would have set. You can add more RAGs with different SLAs on and have different RAG escalation names depending on what you need. If you decide you don't want a specific SLA to be bolted onto a RAG, you can select it from the right-hand side and then press the back arrow. You would add a milestone by pressing this Add Milestone button, and it'll bring you to this page where you would set the milestone name, set the status, select the time, and you would select whether you want it to be a daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly milestone. So I'll say weekly for every 3 weeks on Monday. Up here in the message panel, it'll show you when this milestone is scheduled to run. And once you press submit, then you'll have this milestone, which will appear in your tracking and reporting features for your contract. And you just press save. And that's everything I wanted to show you for procurement, reviews, and operational tabs. This is just for really important contracts that you need to be actively monitoring and escalating to the right people. So I hope this helps.